All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Savage Land. And today we got an episode on me ranking my personal Spider-Men, shall I say, from Marvel Legends. And I have 14 Marvel Legends Spider-Men, and I might have some other form of a Spider-Man, like a Supreme Octopus or something. It looked like Spider-Man to me, but I'm not necessarily putting that in. Any Spider-Man I got from Marvel Legends that's donning an actual Spider-Man suit, I'm going to rank. So I got 14 of them, and this is just something fun I wanted to do. You know, it's just one day I looked up and like, holy crap, I got a lot of Spider-Man action figures, and they're all pretty cool, man. And some are better than others, man, but I really just wanted to see this. I had to do a quick rundown of just from 14 to 1, my personal opinion of which is the best Spider-Man. So today's episode is ranking my Marvel Legends Spider-Man. So we're going to get this thing kicked off, and we're going to start off with the first figure, which is from the Demo Goblin wave, and it's from a Gamerverse Spider-Man from PlayStation, and this is a Velocity Suit Spider-Man. This Spider-Man is pretty cool. It's not a horrible Spider-Man, but he doesn't do too much for me. His articulation is okay, but he's got a dope suit on, and he looks good. I'll say he's not a bad looking one, but when it comes to the Spider-Man that I have in my collection, that back looks good on him. I like those colorways. He's the low man on the totem pole, so we're going to set Velocity Suit Spider-Man back here. He's number 14. Number 13 will be Big Time Spider-Man, and I'm not even going to front. I brought this Spider-Man all because of Shartimus Prime. This is his big time letdown Spider-Man, and it's an okay figure. He's a very slender Spider-Man, just like the other Bucks that were from Spider-Man before this new retro line, and he's okay. He's not a bad looking figure. Over time, he's gotten a little wonky, but he's not bad. So number 13 is Big Time Suit Spider-Man. Pretty good looking colorway, but I have better in my collection. This Spider-Man right here, I forgot where I got him from. I know I personally hunted this down, but the number 12 Spider-Man is Symbiote Spider-Man. And he's more like of a beast-like looking Spider-Man. He has kind of like a symbiote feet. I don't know where this came from. He has diamonds on his backhands. It was usually a square or a circle. But he's an okay figure. This is my first black suit Spider-Man. I didn't have one, so I got him. And I believe I had to get him. He might have came in the Molten Man wave. I might have got this guy out of Walgreens, something like that. But he's number 12. This is Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man. And he's more like of a beast, almost like a symbiote, really, type Spider-Man. He's okay. But like I said, I have better in my collection. All right, we're going to go back again with another Black Suit Spider-Man. This is from the Kraven, the Hunter, and Spider-Man 2-pack. Probably came out maybe about 4 years ago. This was my second Black Suit Spider-Man, and I was like, you know what? I finally got a Black Suit Spider-Man. He'll represent that. And he's pretty cool, but you'll see later on, which you know I have the other retro Spider-Man in this. the retro Spider-Man doesn't have his designer logo inside of this butterfly joint. And the other retro Spider-Man is just built a little bit better. He's a little bit more beefier Spider-Man. This one's still on that slender buck. I guess this is from Pizza Spidey or whatever. I don't own the Pizza Spidey, but I guess that was the buck to have, and people just ran with it. So we got two back-to-back symbiote suit Spider-Mans right there in the 14, 13, 12 in the number 11 position. So 12 and 11 belongs to the symbiote Spider-Man. Like I said, this guy gotten kind of weak over time also too. So next up on the list, number 10, Spider-Man Homecoming MCU figure. He's okay. He's good. When I first brought him, he had a really great texture on him. Like, you could really feel the rib design in his suit, and it just felt like nanotechnology, like it was just a real flexible metal type material he got on. He's got a cool butterfly joint. He's small, always kind of like small Spider-Mans, like kid-like Spider-Mans. And he's pretty dope. I'm really not into MCU figures. It just seems like when an MCU figure gets old, it just looks dated. I don't know what it is, but when you get you a good comic figure, that figure, especially if it's built well, looks like he'll last through all times. But pretty good for Spider-Man. He's got my number 10 position. So there you go. Spider-Man Homecoming Iron Spider suit. Beautiful suit. That's number 10. Number 9 on my list doesn't even don a Spider-Man name, but he wears a Spider-Man suit, and that's Doppelganger. I really like this figure. I think this guy is amazing, really. He doesn't have an ab crunch or anything like that, but he's just a cool figure. They gave him an awesome ankle rocker, so you can really kind of do what you want to do with him, man. Like, so you can get him in some really nice crouching like poses, and he still looks good. He stands well, and that's the biggest thing. So number 9, let me see, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Number 9 is Doppelganger, and I believe he came out of the Molting Man wave. Not too sure. It's been a long time since I got some of these boys. And I actually personally hunted down all of these Spider-Man. Oh, except for that Craven 2-pack. I actually ordered that one. All right, so next up on the list, we have, this is from the Demo Goblin wave again, at number 8, the Gamerverse Spider-Man MK3 design. Pretty good looking figure. It's grown on me. At first, this was my least favorite one out of that whole pack, but it's actually a pretty dope looking figure. I actually like it. I like the blues and the reds. Got that dope spider on the back. Looks like a big metal piece. And he's got the shoulder pads, more like a helmet rather than a mask. I think this is actually a pretty good figure. It's actually grown on me over time. And actually, I think I probably should have had that Doppelganger before this, because I don't know, I just like that Doppelganger, man. It's just something about him. He's a good looking figure. So that's number 8, Gamerverse MK3 Spider suit out of the Demo Goblin wave. Number 7 is kind of like a personal favorite of mine. I think this is a good looking figure. Number 7 is the comic book MK1 Spider-Man suit. I actually own this comic. It's Web Spider-Man 300. Brings me back to a time when Marvel used to do like foiled covers in the mid-90s, and they would have like these little pop-up, almost like Braille type feel to them, where you can actually feel the drawing popping out, and just brings back to a time. I think this is a good looking figure. He moves okay. He doesn't move as well as the other retro Spider-Mans, and this figure just dropped not too long ago. Excited when I hunted this guy down. You still don't really see a lot of them in store now. Everybody's tearing up the Spider-Mans and leaving the Hammerheads. Even Hobgoblin's getting torn up. But Hammerhead I see a lot. Number 7 is comic book MK1 Spider suit. And it's a pretty dope figure, man. It looks good. Like I said, number 7. I think very high of it, and plus it's nostalgic to me. Number 6, man, I don't see a lot of people talking about, but this man's colorway just has him up here on me. This is Webman, which I knew nothing about Webman, never seen him, maybe didn't pay attention until this toy dropped back in last November, October of 2021. Dope figure. He's part of the retro Spider-Man wave. He doesn't have that abdominal cut in here like most do, but he still moves good, and he looks freaking gorgeous, man. I mean, this flip-flop color with the red, and then you got the kind of like a processed light blue with the black lines going through it, man. It just makes him look awesome, man. And then I just like his face too. He's got the big wide Spider-Man eyes. I mean, he's a good-looking figure. He looks real good. He looks good enough to be my number 6 on my Marvel Legends Spider-Man list. So we're going to place this guy right here. Hope we don't have the domino effect going. All right, now this guy right here was actually sent to me about 3 or 4 years ago. I was waiting on an order on Amazon, and they just accidentally sent me this Spider-Man and Vulture pack. But I've always liked this Spider-Man. Is he as articulated as the new ones? No. But he's a small Spider-Man, and I always like a small Spider-Man because it just reminds me of a kid Spider-Man. I mean, this guy looks good still to this day. I don't know about that Vulture in that pack. I didn't ever really care for him. He's actually like thrown in a box somewhere, but I looked online and this pack actually costs a lot. It probably came out in like 2016, sometime around there, but it's a Spider-Man and Vulture 2-pack. But this Spider-Man is dope. He has the classic Spider-Man suit on with the kind of fat, roundish, robust-looking spider in the background, and he has his lines painted in, and he just looks really good. He just reminds me of a nice little kid Spider-Man, and he moves pretty good too to be an older figure. He's aged very well. I believe he's aged better than this MCU Spider-Man. Which this guy right here still looks good, this MCU Spider-Man, but he just looks good. He's nice and clean, and he just looks he just looks the part. He very well looks the part of Spider-Man. When I think of Spider-Man, I'll think of this figure more than that MCU one. So this is number 5 on my list, Spider-Man and Vulture 2-pack. Put this guy up here. All right, so number 4 on my list is another smaller Spider-Man. We have the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. What a good figure. It was a good figure when I first seen it. It was a good figure when I got it in hand, and it's still a good figure to this day, and it's actually got some age on it now. It's about 2 years old. So, but he moves very well. And I just noticed, he was like, man, I forgot this guy was pinless too. So that makes very good for the aesthetic, man. This is just a beautiful figure. Every time, what gets me is his eyes. If you catch him in the right light, it almost looks like his eyes are glowing. So very good. He moves well. He's small. He's slender. Most time with a good skinny, slender Spider-Man, they're always going to move very, very well. And he looks just like he just came straight out that movie. Very easy to pose. When it comes to a Spider-Man, you're not going to get in the top 5 if you're not easy to pose. And henceforth, like this Spider-Man here, this Webman, and this MK1 armor, they're very good-looking Spider-Man. I love them to death, but they do not move as well as these ones in the top 5. So there we got it. We got number 4 right there, Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. And he also has a good secondary head sculpt too that looks just like the digital drawing. All right, coming in at number 3 is the Top Gun in the black symbiote suit Spider-Mans, and that's the one that came out this year. That's the Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man. This right here is just a masterpiece with it. I don't know if they can do anything better. As you can see here, he doesn't have the symbol inside his butterfly joint, so it doesn't break up or get scratched up when you have to move his arm. He's a little bit more beefier and bulkier than this one right here. As you can see, the legs a little bit bigger. He has a little bit more muscle build, and his chest is bigger. His ab crunch is a little bit more beefier. I mean, his abs are actually a little bit more beefier, and he's just a little bit better. If you, from a quick glance, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference if you didn't know. But like I said, if you know, you know. This is the Top Gun, the top shotter when it comes to black symbiote suit Spider-Mans in this Marvel Legends retro wave, and he moves the best too with that abdominal cut there. I mean, you can just move this guy to drop down legs. I mean, it's just this is a really good, well-built toy right here, and he gets the number 3 position. Until they come out with something better, which will probably be a while. This will be the go-to Black Spider-Man right here. Awesome figure. Number 2 on my list is the Ben Reilly Marvel Legends Retro Wave Spider-Man. Good looking figure. Once again, he has the same build and aesthetic as this black symbiote suit Spider-Man I showed for number 3, because they come from all the same wave and line. He's built good. His body looks good. He moves great. He has an abdominal cut. His paint looks good. The one key thing that he has over that black symbiote suit Spider-Man is he has this cut. I don't know if you guys can see it. He has a cut right here that actually makes his head be able to look up. And that is very, very beautiful. The other symbiote Spider-Man doesn't have a slit back here like that. And that's what gives him the advantage. He can look his head all the way down. You can almost kind of see it with the gappage there, but it's a cutout on the back of his neck that symbiote suit Spider-Man does not have. Let me grab this one right here. And as you can see here, oh, wow. You know what? He does have a little cut, but it just doesn't move. I thought he didn't, because his head just doesn't move like that other one. As you can see, that's him looking up there, which the other one just has a little bit more bend on it. That's crazy, though. I'm going to leave that in there, because I definitely thought he didn't have that. Most don't. Most don't. But it just seems like that Ben Reilly moves just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. And then the colorway on the Ben Reilly looks good. Of course, with the black suit Spider-Man, that's always going to be a classic, great uniform for Spider-Man. But this right here is just full of color, full of life. And it's a beautiful figure. It's a well-built figure. And it just has just small advantages over that black. They're all the same. And if you're thinking the original Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man is going to be number 1, it's not. Because I do actually have that figure, but it's in pack. I actually have 2 of them that's just in the packs, and they're in storage. And there's no need for me to break them out, because I have all of this here. For what? Why do I need that? He's an OG now. There's no need for me to even bother that figure, because it's just in a whole nother status on what Spider-Man is in Marvel Legends. It's the GOAT. It's the best buck out there as far as Marvel Legends wise. But there is a figure that rivals that, and I didn't think it would do it. And let me move this other figure to the side so my man can stand front and center. And that's the Armadillo Build-A-Figure Wave Miles Morales. Badass figure. Badass figure. He moves great. And I think it's because of his slender body. He almost can move like better to me than those retro Spider-Man. Like, he is on point. Then his costume, the time and quality put into all of this is like a net ribbed filling, like a webbed filling. Really, I feel like his suit is made of like Teflon or something. He feels really good in hand. Great figure. I just have these 2 hands on it, but he comes with all the hands that you need. Wall crawling, I believe, shooting hands, fisted hands. He has another head sculpt that a lot of people don't care too much for, but I think it's awesome. I think they did a great rendition of an African American character, and his haircut game looks good. His face looks good. He doesn't look all crazy, and they didn't give no jacked up haircut, and that passes with me. And like I said, he looks like my nephew Babu, who was black and Puerto Rican. That's what Miles Morales is. He just reminds me of him. So it strike a different chord with different people, man, but he's a great looking figure, and he's pinless. He's pinless. Like I say, when it got to this top 5, it's just all little small stuff. All those retro Spider-Man, they have pins in them. This guy's pinless. He has a pinless body, and he looks great. He looks amazing, man. He's a good looking figure. I heard a well-known toy reviewer say that they didn't like his body. It's too slender. But to me, it looks like an 18-year-old kid. Now, when I was 18, yeah, I did have a little cut, a little muscle. But if I look back at pictures, I was like, man, I was skinny as a beanpole. I'm still kind of small, but I was skinny then. And when you're 18, 19, I don't care if you're playing football, there's always more weight and mass to build onto your body as you get older. As a 35-year-old man who's thick and built up. He looks like a truck compared to a somebody who's 18, 19, and this is what this guy's supposed to be. This is the Gamerverse. Miles Morales, I believe, PlayStation 4, 4 or 5-ish Gamerverse. And he is number one. He is my number one Spider-Man in my eyes. I had the most fun with him. He's easy to pose to me. And he just looks good. I don't see no flaws with him, man. I really don't. I think he's awesome. And I caught a gravy sale on him for like $17 around Christmas time. Out of all places, I didn't know Macy's had Marvel Legends. I think I'm doing some online shopping and seeing that he was on sale for like $17. I'm like, he's got, I don't even want to build the Armadillo builder figure wave, but I had to have Miles Morales Gamerverse. If you don't have him, I actually seen him in Walmart like 2 weeks ago, just sporadically popping up. So if you still see him and he's on a peg, please make the choice of getting him. You won't regret it. And if you don't get him, you will regret it. And he's number one on my list, ranking my Marvel Legends Spider-Man. I actually like to thank you guys for taking time to watch this video. If you watched it all the way through, give your boy a like, comment, subscribe. And we're going to leave out with this, with the running message. When you walk out the door, make sure you're being a person of integrity. Make sure you're being a man, standing on your own 10 and doing what you can. And until the next time, God bless. Peace.